Hi there. I am so glad you're here. It's Kelly Resendez, and we are talking about abundance and world positivity today. So, I want to just kind of recap some of the things, if you missed my other episodes, that are really important and why you might need to go back and check them all out. So, what is abundance? Abundance is really a way of life. You might think of it as a mindset, but it is the way in which you experience life from radical ownership, meaning I accept that I'm the creator of my own reality and I know everything is for my greater good. You might have heard that life happens for you adage that Byron Katie or Tony Robbins or others speak of, but you truly embody it. No matter what challenge comes at you, you're able to experience it with a knowing that you will become a better version of yourself because of whatever it is that you're experiencing. And when it comes to world positivity and world positive leadership, it's really about making choices that are good for the planet and good for the people. You know, I'm an executive at GoodLeap. We're one of the largest green energy financing companies out there. I feel incredibly aligned with the work that we do because I do care about the planet. I care about my kids many years from now. And the truth is, there are a lot of companies out there that are damaging the planet. And so you have a responsibility, just like I do, to make choices that are good, again, for the planet and good for the people. Now, why do I believe that world positive leadership is the answer? Well, world positive leadership includes equality. We know women don't have 50% of the leadership roles or the C-suite roles out there. You know, we celebrate things like, oh, we're almost to 10%. Well, 10% isn't where we need to be. We need more feminine energy in the world. Now, why? We think differently. Quite frankly, we think wider instead of deeper. Now, both are good. And I believe it is the power of men and women working together that is going to make the world a better place. And so how do we do that? I share a lot of those strategies through this. And I'm going to tell you, to be honest, you know, as women and as female leaders out there, we can be a victim. Sure, there are probably people out there that still discriminate. Or we can step into our power. And I believe stepping into our power really requires a few different things. So I've studied all the numbers, and a lot of the things that I address on this channel are the reasons why I believe women are not applying for promotions or starting companies, which is a requirement to get to this next level. So the first thing that we really cover is reducing stress. If I'm stressed, the last thing I'm thinking about is going to go for a higher level job, right? I'm going to feel like I can't handle anything else. You know, I feel like the word overwhelmed is the most overused word ever amongst female employees anywhere, because a lot of us put so much pressure on ourselves. This isn't about caring less. It's about caring differently, because women report much higher levels of stress than our male counterparts. Why? I think we just feel more responsibility to take care of everything. And so it's up to us to reduce stress. How can we do it? Lots of stress reduction techniques, from having a vision from how you want to feel and starting your morning out, putting yourself first so that you have that energy, speaking your truth, you know, setting boundaries. You know, one of the aspects of being in abundance is that we're in abundance in every area. And I see people around time feel like it's just scarce. Well, I have the same 24 hours as you do. I just choose very thoughtfully how to spend my time. I look at getting the highest ROI, or return on investment, on the things that I do. So what I would tell you is that you've got to reduce that stress. And if you're struggling with this, go back to some of my earlier videos that talk about really ways that we can reduce stress. Other challenges, imposter syndrome. So what is imposter syndrome? It means we think everybody's going to find out we're not good enough. Well, that is a load of BS if I've ever heard it. You know, most of us have to just step in to our worthiness. Now, worthiness and confidence are different. I believe your worthiness is a birthright. You have nothing to prove, explain, or justify. Where confidence is built by doing things outside of your comfort zone or things that you don't believe that you can accomplish. So what is this going to get you to? Number one, if you release imposter syndrome, you're going to be more likely to apply for that next level promotion. You're going to be more likely to take a risk on starting a new company or maybe a side hustle that's going to get you where you want to go financially. I believe we should all have financial freedom, which means we have more than enough money to pay our living expenses, so we get to start working much earlier than our retirement date. And so you want to make sure that any imposter syndrome, you just really start to embrace it as being like, I need to make friends with the part of me that has self-doubt. I need to nurture that part of me and remind it how worthy I am and what a masterpiece I am every single day. And then the third area that is really important for us to get a hold of is alignment. So what is alignment? It means your life is aligned with your priorities. Now we hear a lot about work-life balance. I would throw that out because every one of us has a different path. If you love working, then work, whatever it is. But if you feel guilt or shame or doubt, any of those other lower level emotions, that means you're not in alignment. So you want to start, really the number one thing when it comes to alignment is being present wherever you are. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I apply this with family. I'm a mom of a 19 and 21-year-old. I obviously raised them since birth, and I really tried to raise them without the programming that I had to release in my 30s, which meant I wasn't going to overlay my opinions on them. And I adopted a belief that I will tell you changed my life. And that was my children chose me to teach me the lessons I was unwilling to learn on my own. So rather than getting triggered that they were doing something that I didn't like, I used that for my own growth and saying, man, I really do want everyone to do what I want when I want them to do it. And when I released that, I released them from being responsible for how I felt. I no longer blamed them. I stepped into this higher place of like, hey, I'm going to radically accept you for who you are and not judge you. I'm going to give you permission to be you instead of what I think you should be. And so that's a great, powerful way that you can get into alignment, especially with your children, is to just really be conscious and present of who you are when you show up. A lot of parents think, man, I need to teach them all the failures so that they don't make the same mistakes I did. Well, I can tell you, the mistakes I made, I needed to make them. They've made me who I am today. Now I can teach them how to embrace mistakes as opportunities to learn and grow, which is a big belief of being in abundance, but I'm not going to fix things for them. I'm not going to orchestrate the most ideal situation so that they don't go through some of the pain and struggle that I did, because there's such richness in that. And so hopefully this episode's just helped you kind of recap a little bit about what we've gone over so far, because I do believe that it is up to us to really make a bigger difference in the world, speak our voices against some of the catastrophic choices that, whether it's big pharma, the food industry, our politicians, you name it, there are choices being made that are not good for the people and they're not good for the planet. And I know the more we all step into our power, the less likely it's going to continue. We'll see you on the next episode.